Welcome to part 2 of our Raven Meets the Sun project. So this is our inspiration, amazing Native American art, and this is actually a Haida style of art. These are ovoids. This is the type of art you'll see in totem poles and in the Raven that we're working on. And so everyone should have something like this. This will guide you when you are using our beautiful oil pastels. Oil pastels are great, especially when you're using dark construction paper, because they will pop. They will pop. So this, everybody has their own so that they can touch it and spread your germs on it, and that's for you. Which means when you're done with it, you throw it away, or you can save it in case you want to do other Native American style art in your free drawing. That being said, set to the side. This is the Raven stencil. Now, this is, I like to call this a very special stencil because you have some options. You're gonna make this your own. If I wanted my own Raven to be everybody's Raven, then I would say, let's make copies of it, and then what's the point of art? So if you look on here, it says 1, cut out stencil, 2, trace on black paper, 3, cut out black paper. Well, we're all gonna do that. But it also says make the beak the size you like. It also says pick a size, or make bigger, or smaller, or try your own. The key thing to remember here is that if you notice on our example, in this case, the head's slightly turned. So you can have a bigger beak head and kind of shape it that way. Mine, I do it very simple. I keep it the head's on top so that it is. Somebody know what the word is? If I were to fold this, it's identical on each side. What's that word in art we use? We use it in math too. Math? Mrs. Nichols, you're doing language arts, you're doing math, and art all in the same. You're out of control. What's the word? If you guys said symmetry as a class loud, you win the prize. Or if you did it not too loud, you get a bigger prize. You get my gratitude. So, first step is, yes, well, that's my thinking, is that I thought symmetry would look nice. Now, if you obviously want to try your own, or you could use some of this and then maybe make the head bigger and change it and try and do it like that. But here's the kicker, and this is the rub. You get 1 piece of black paper. I'm not giving you 2. You messed it up, you just have to glue it back together or do something like that. So just keep that in mind. I don't have $1 million, neither does the school. So my thinking is I'm going to, for this example, I guess I'll do the big one just so that you can see it, okay? If you want to do a smaller one, then cut the smaller one. If you want to go even smaller, what do you think you might do? You probably just cut in a little bit smaller, like this is outlined, and still do the zigzags going in just slightly inward instead of right on the line. You go just inside the line. Or if you want it bigger, you just go outside the line. That's what's neat about this. It's like you are making a different scale. So I'm gonna carefully cut on the line that I want, or just go outside, or just inside the line. That's all I'm doing. And I'm not pausing this video. We're just gonna cut together, because that's what friends do. Or that's what art students do. I'm your teacher. We're not friends. Just joking. I can be both. As long as you're respectful and we all take care of our materials and are respectful of each other. So I'm coming in. And maybe when you're cutting this, you go, you know what? I want this to be, I want less or I want more. But the trick is symmetry. So if you want 2 more wings, do 2 more, feathers, do 2 more here. That's how this works, right? So this is a guide, but there is no rule that says you can't make this how you want it to be. Then I'll come around, and then if I want the beak a little bit longer, I'll go a little longer, shorter, and come back around. That's all. I'm taking my time. Do not do any sudden movements. Take your time. Got all the time in the world. Just kidding, you don't. Notice how I always keep the scissors facing out to me. I'm moving the paper. Don't move the scissors like a crazy person. That's how accidents happen. Welcome to Scissors 101. If I want, your hand is like this. This is just how your hand is. This doesn't make sense. If I need to cut like this, then I need to move the paper to stay, so my scissors can stay facing this way. So I move the paper so my scissors stay the same. Don't get weird. Now I might adjust my scissors slightly, but it's the paper that moves, not my hand. My hand does not twist a bunch of ways. So just to be clear, that is just a tool lesson right there. And that I actually learned from my mom, who is quite an artist herself. And she was welcomed into the Mackinac Arts Council. I don't know if she actually was able to join or just join the group, but I learned a lot from her. And the same goes for when you're trying to write and things like that. Don't try and write turning your arm. You move the paper. Move the paper, and you'll have better cuts. I promise. Ta-da. So that's my raven. Ta-da. So now I've got my stencil. Yes, you're gonna have to cut twice, right? Because you gotta draw this on your black paper. But that was your chance to decide how you wanted the raven to be, and that's the first step, because we didn't want everyone's to be identical. That's no fun. So now that I have it planned out, now I'm setting it on my black paper. You might have to turn it however it's gonna be. Now, don't be all wonky. Don't let this slip, okay? So I'm gonna take my pencil and I'm going to strategically trace it. And for me, I'm probably gonna start by the neck so I don't forget. But a pencil will show up. Just take your time with it. Make sure you can see it. People think pencils don't show up on black paper. Oh, it does. And what you'll do is when you do your oil pastels, you will do that on the other side. That way, you don't have any pencil markings when you're doing this and you don't have to worry about erasing it. That being said, everybody's painting. If there was anything with pencil that you painted over, like your line, I think I might have to erase mine a little bit. If it's still there that you can see, by all means, this is your chance to erase it because it's perfectly dry. If it's not, if you can't see it, then don't worry about it. I think I can only see part of mine because it's in the warm side. Right? We got warm and cold side. My cold side looks like it hid it, so that's kind of cool. Uh-oh, I tilted it a little. So even if you get funky here and you get pencil marks on it, it won't matter because you're actually going to color on the pretty side on the back. That's the trick of the trade, my friends. This would almost be classified as mixed media. Does anybody know what that is? Dun, da, da, da. Mixed media has to do with using multiple mediums on one art piece. So in this case, not only did we use paint, but we're also gluing construction paper on it and using oil pastels. So by combining all that, it could be classified as mixed media to some degree. Although a lot of people would say we have to use a lot more pieces, but I think that this project is cool because we get to use a few different things. And we're combining culture. What for you would be cool would be if you came up with a different story of how the raven stole the sun. Or what could the story have been instead? That, I think, would be a neat story to tell. Because our story had to do with it disguised himself as, and that's one of the folklore. It disguised itself and tricked the woman and stole it. But how neat would it have been if it was a whole different story? Make up your own folklore. There we go. Now we cut this guy. Again, move the paper, not your hand. And this is worth all the marbles. Do not mess this up. No such thing as a mistake, right? We can always fix it. And if it gets weird, like, I'm gonna cut that part off, then it doesn't bother me. See that? See how I did that? Makes this a little bit easier to cut. Now turning the paper. Not turning my hand, turning the paper. Not turning my hand, turning the paper. See that? Everybody. I'm not turning my hand, I'm turning the paper. Slightly just because of the round, but for the most part, get rid of that. It does make it easier when you take chunks off of this bigger paper, but it's so thick. Once that's done, you need to close up those scissors, make them nice, and put them away carefully. I don't need them flopping around or anything bad happening. Thank you. Now, trash to the side. Go this way. Pencil, right? So I'm going to flip it. Did you catch that? I'm gonna do it again. Ready? Everybody. Because we had some issues for some students with the name and then flipping. I'm gonna show you again. Pencil, markings from the trace. Ready? Flip it. Ooh, now's the fun part. I'm gonna come back to this. If you notice, they're using these really cool Haida art shapes. Haida, H-A-I-D-A. And what it is I'm seeing, what's that word again? Symmetry. I'm thinking like Little Mermaid, that's just me. But they've got, if they put here, then they put it here. If they put here, what they do? They put it here. I wanna be where the ovoids are. I wanna do the same thing on this wing too. Did you hear my parody? Anyways, so I want to make sure that I try to do my best thinking when it comes to matching. Whatever I do here, I want to do here. So whatever I pick, I kind of want to keep it, you know, keep it kind of cool. So, oh, I don't need that tracer anymore. Unless you want to keep it because you're, you know, you love my tracer, whatever. Okay, so let's decide what looks cool, what's exciting. I mean, quite frankly, there is such a thing as less is more. Don't get weird. Unless you want to, whatever. But you really, it's almost like, it almost reminds me of kidney beans sometimes. But, or like eyebrows, or it's kind of like this wavy thing. So for me, don't even worry about tracing it. And remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. We're human. So I'm gonna take my oil pastel and I'm just gonna go for it. If you're really nervous, I mean, you can use pencil and then you can put pastel over it. That's perfectly fine. But these are such big shapes that it's so it's your call. Honestly, use pencil first. But I think because I'm gonna just rock some of these shapes. So whatever I do one, I'm gonna do the other side too. So I think I'll start with, I like the idea of doing like a long one here and then a long one here and then leaving some of those ovoid openings. So let's just rock on. Let's do this. And then I'm gonna keep that open. I like the idea of a long one. But then when I open, it's kind of that opening, right? So it'll kind of swoop and I'll leave it black. So we want black and white. So I'm using black here to kind of go under. And then I'll have it come up. So I have some white. And then I'll do another one. So it'll be like that, swoop, and then come back up. It's not perfect, that's okay. It looks cool to me. Ta-da! That'll work. Now, this is the fun part, right? So let me take from here. Come up. Do, 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 do. And then bring it down. And then I'm coming back this way. There, maybe it needs to come back down more. Okay. So I got that. Oh, and if I messed up, which I did a little, I'm gonna put a line there. Just because that's where a line is. Because I needed it further down. Cool. So I have that. I have a line. And then it needs to come up. So I'm gonna draw this little bit of thickness to match. Then it's gonna come up a little. And then do a little, fill it in with some white to match. Then have a little opening, go up again, and then close it. And this all gets white. So it's about using the black, that negative space to fill it in. And then this is where I got kind of funky. It's okay. Feels good. There. I like it. Do 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 do. You see it? Do 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 do. Okay. So that kind of got me started. I think getting that kind of gives you that base. It's like the top of the wing. And then now, let's see. And then just I'll just grab, let's see, I could do something like this, right? A couple of these by the neck. So even if I just do just something that matches my bird, right? I'm gonna do a little, almost like a wavy rectangle, and then one of those with that almost looks like a hanger, kinda. And I'll let me do some of those funky ones. I like those. I like these. Let's do some like that. They're meant to look kind of weird, and that's cool. I'll do a few. Sometimes what I notice too is that sometimes it'll be like, it might have a little thicker line on top, so I'll make the top a little thick compared to the bottom for both of these. Why not? Cool. Now let's play. Let's do some of these guys on the side, right? That's what the other one was like. I kind of liked it. Ooh, I do like some of those other. Okay, so let's rock. So let's do. If you notice, they're almost like circles, but like weird circles, because they're ovals. Maybe I'll do some of those. There's a cool one. I'll show it to you. I'm gonna draw them, and then I'll show you where I found him. I'm gonna do a weird thing right here. I'm just doing something, going weird, going rogue. So I'm doing this. I'm gonna make sure I can do it here. I broke my crayon. Oh, gotta get down. And then I did this. So this one is like these. What? I know. You're welcome. Enjoy. And then how about some some of those V looking things. Those things are cool. I'll do like some V's here. They're like long and like V. That's fun. Kind of funky. Oh, this thing is looking weird. It's creeping me out and I'm just making it. What? Stop it, Mrs. Nichols. You're out of control. This is how you can have fun with yourself. You just talk to yourself. Dude, so I broke it by mistake. All right, now we have 2 oil pastels. It's exciting. Okay, let's see. Don't you do that if you can help it, but accidents happen. And then I'll probably, so I have openings here. I gotta fill it in. Maybe I'll just do a couple simple ovoids to make up my own shape. Because I got the style, it's basically like weird ovals with some thickening things. I gotta stick something here too. I like it. Sometimes they remind me of rocks almost, right? Look at this. Seen those layered rocks and rock humps? They're kind of cool. Do one here. So you do fill it up, but you just don't do like weird stuff. You want to keep it. Okay, and let me do a couple of those eyebrow looking things. Just kind of keep it simple here. Got this guy all set. Maybe I need some. I figure this out. So I'm doing a symmetry thing. So I probably need to do like this, and I know the beak gets outlined because I'm doing it like that, and then we gotta get the eye, the top of the eye. I think that's all I'm going to do because my eyes are on the side, right? Now, if you do an open beak and it's tilted its head, then you could try some of the eyes. Because the eyes look kind of creepy. They're kind of cool. Yeah? So, I mean, there's lots of ideas here. And I'll have this on the board too, right? But, I mean, you'll find that you get less nervous if you just go for it, honestly. Just kind of play. There is no wrong answer here. The wrong answer is not doing it. That's the wrong answer. Shoot, you can't mess this up. I mean, it was fun. It looks cool. And just wait. This is the extra part. So you're not done with this yet. There's something else that's white on here. Do you guys know? I decided it was better to control the stars with the oil pastel because you don't want stars here. If the sun's really bright, you shouldn't be able to see stars. That's how it is in nature. You don't usually see stars there very good, but if he's pulling it up there and we just see stars down here, then we're going to want to use oil pastel. So I know a couple people snuck that in, but this will look really cool. And I was thinking, I could almost, if you wanted, you could almost use your pastel to do a little something with the sun if you wanted. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Okay, part 2. All these look cool. So now we have this. So I did do the bigger raven and see how it fits. So it depends where your sun is. So if you notice, if you do it, it might be that some might end up off depending on where your sun is, but my sun is there, and so it'll fit just right on the bigger raven. So, see how there's the beak and it's gonna be on the sun now. Before I do this, this is your glue. Shake it up, it's sealed, okay? Then when you take it off, these are Bingo Daubers, and this is a brand new one. But what happens is you're gonna have to squeeze and then you push, and then what's nice is now it's coming out now, perfect. You're gonna come off all the edge and you'll start to see it daubing, filling it up nice. You can squeeze a little, but I mean it's coming out. You can see the dots. So when it cover up the whole thing with the glue. when you've got it completely covered, make sure you get that beak. Then you're going to stick it where you want it. Look and feel it. It's all like oop, oop, oop. Dun, da, da, da. So actually, it was a brand new bingo dauber, so I had to make sure it was working, and it was. It is actually sticking. It's just going to take a little while to dry, but it was working really nice. So that's awesome. So I think once they're used more, it'll seep through and it'll work even easier. Okay, so this is set up. Now we've got it all on there. The last piece of the puzzle is popping on little stars. I'm just doing all dots, but you can do this however you want, right? It's your piece. It's your place. It's your piece. You don't have to do that though. It was just a thought. Okay. There. Dun da da da. These are peas. These look so cool. So then you'll stick it on the dry rack.